application windows. Okay, so you should be able to see my Chrome screen right now here. So we have this year-end treat sale going on from December 1st to the 31st. You can check this out. I will throw this link in the chat window for you guys as well. So a lot of cool stuff you can buy. Basically, you get any of these content packs here if you purchase over $3.99. All these plugins here are on discount right now as well. So, we have discounts and stuff all the time. So, if you're like, waiting to pounce on something, now is a good time to do it. We got some good sales going on here. I'll throw this link in the chat for you guys here. Let me just find my chat window. Here we go. Shabam. There we go. Okay, so that's it for the content store promo. So, check back every month or so. We have different promos going on in the content store. Yeah, some really cool stuff there as well. And like I mentioned, the discount we send you for the survey, that's stackable on top of all these as well. Okay, on to the next one. So if you are a teacher or a student, any sort of educator involved in the academia, you can get a 60% discount on all of our software, which is our highest discount available. So make sure that if you are a student or teacher, if you have any relation to any academic institution, that you take advantage of this. You can fill out the form on this page here, right here, and you get your discount code, and you can add that to your content store purchase or software store purchase, not content store, unfortunately. This is only for software. So make sure you take advantage of that, and I'll put this link in the chat for everyone as well. Want to get through these pretty quick because we got a lot of fun stuff to go through here, and we're already 5 minutes behind. Okay, yeah, that's pretty much all for the promo stuff. Boom. All right, good. So you should be able to see here now. This is the ActorMixer main page. Okay, from Character Creator 5. I'll go through this really briefly here. Let me just move my window over here. Yeah, ActorMixer is really cool. For those of you who are familiar with like MetaHuman, it's very similar to the way that MetaHumans are kind of blended together. We've added a bit more advanced features to this though. I'll talk about how you can basically break your character up into different mixer sliders, which is really cool. Unfortunately, that is a pro feature. So ActorMixer does come with two versions. There's the basic free version and there's the pro version. I'll talk about the differences in just a bit here. But if you go to this page here, I'll throw this in the chat as well. You can browse it on your own. And yeah, you can see some really cool stuff here. Um, there's ActorMixer here. You can also do a free trial of ActorMixer Pro, which allows you 10, I think 10 um, asset creation rounds, so to speak. We'll talk about that in just a moment here. And the main thing here is non-destructive blending. So basically, it's kind of blending everything together. It's not destroying any other part of the body or any part of the other part of the face when it blends, when you blend each different feature together. We'll talk more about that a little bit later as well. Everything blends really naturally well together. You don't have weird proportions or anything like that, unless of course your character is naturally weirdly, strangely proportioned. And we'll get into all this stuff when we do the live demo here as well. You can mix the full character. You can mix the head and the head shape. There's bone scale as well and bone shape. We'll talk about that as well. All the different features you can mix all together. You can get into a lot of detail here, and we will get into some detail, obviously, as the live demo moves on here. So mixing facial parts, body parts. And then with the ActorMixer Pro, you get this free Actor Core library. So Actor Core library includes like 40 high quality heads, and you can mix them all together. They're all sorts of different ethnicities. Honestly, this is one of the better things that we've released in a long time, I think. The Actor Core library, especially for different ethnicities. I know we have users from all over the world. So if you're, looking for, a character that represents your own ethnicity or whatnot, this is definitely the one that you want to take a look at. You can basically explore the core library here. Um, all sorts of different, you can see ethnicities here, and they're very realistic. They're high quality for 4K, 2K, and 4K skins. Okay, so it's really cool. And if you want to have a half like character who's half white, half black, or whatever, you can do that as well. You can kind of blend them together. It's really easy to do. So make sure you check this out. That's from the ActorMixer page. You can just access that yourself. And one of the coolest features of ActorMixer Pro is that you can basically create your own custom mixer library. So unfortunately, this feature is not available with the free version, but you can with the Pro version you can create your own mixers, and you can basically break any of your characters up. Even older generation characters, you can break them up into different mixer sliders and blend them into current generation characters, which is a really powerful, really cool feature. This is why I really kind of recommend ActorMixer Pro, even though the free version is awesome, but Pro gives you all sorts of freedom to just blend everything together. Um, I don't want to get too much into the page here because you can kind of browse this on your own time. I'd rather get into the live demo stuff. But yeah, you can basically go through all the features here. The main thing I want to show here is the difference between ActorMixer Pro and ActorMixer and ActorMixer Pro. So you have the core library. You can create custom mixers, like I mentioned. There's also the random character generation button, and you can package your mixer assets as well, which we'll talk about later. You can go to, if you click on free trial, it'll take you to a comparison window here. You can kind of just see all the stuff on your own time there. Okay, but yeah, I don't want to get too much into detail on that. You can browse it on your own time. I'm going to be using another content pack here, which is called the Human Anatomy set. This is a really, really high value pack as well. And again, you don't need to get any of these if you don't want to. If you want to create your own, you're more than welcome to. And I'll show you how you can basically import in your own characters as well in just a moment here. But this one creates, you can see 12 avatar presets, head presets. These characters are all very, very different, which gives you a lot of freedom for kind of blending them together. Can you imagine blending this huge, massive, like Hulk-looking character with, this skinny dude right here? You can get some really interesting results. And we'll talk about that later as well. So you also get, I think you get up to 8K textures in this one. Don't quote me on that, but there are some 8K textures available, and I think this pack has some of them. Um, Not sure where it says it, but it'll be at least 4K anyways, which is good for most usages anyways. But check this one out. I think I just put it in the chat there as well. Okay, I'm going to share a different screen now. We're going to start our live demo. So let me go up here to share my second screen. Boom. Okay, so now you should be seeing the character creator main page. Let's bring my Zoom stuff over here. Okay, and let's get my stupid face out of the way here. Okay, so what we're going to be talking about now is ActorMixer. Like I mentioned, I went through all the basic stuff here, talked about, the Mixer Pro and the Human Anatomy set. Um, when you get started, basically ActorMixer is just up here in the toolbar. You can also go to plugins and ActorMixer Pro right here. Okay. And there's a tutorial videos, online manual, ActorMixer right here. You don't need to have a character on the screen, but if you do, which I'll show later, you can add the character onto the screen. But basically, if you just click ActorMixer, you get an option here to start with a base male or a base female character. And these are the same characters that are found in, let's get out of here real quick. These are the same characters that are found in the CC5 actor pack. Okay, so these are all the free characters in CC5. This is your neutral male avatar and neutral female avatar. So these are the same characters as the ones that are in ActorMixer, just so you're aware. Okay, so if we start with the base male character, it'll load up our character in his skivvies, and we can mess around with it a little bit. It'll immediately load up the ActorMixer interface. And I was having a bit of issue earlier on with the with some metadata. I had to reset my metadata for DRM purposes. That's why we were a bit late. And it was taking longer than expected. So hopefully we're not going to have any snafus with DRM protection or anything like that when the character pops up here. It won't be this character because it comes free anyways, but some paid characters that I want to use later as well. Okay, so this is the ActorMixer interface. It's pretty simple. There's nothing really too complicated about it. Here's our default male base character, or the neutral male base character. And you have the option here to go to head, which we'll talk about in a bit here, and body. You can do it all separately. Character will just kind of be the entire character here. You can change from, there's the HD Human Anatomy set that I mentioned earlier. So this includes some mixer sliders automatically. So when you have that set, you can click on that, and it'll load a different set of a different mixer library here. Okay, and you can see it'll kind of just replace these with the human anatomy characters. You can see they're slightly different now, and there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for the female, and you can switch from male to female. Okay, so there's the wheel, male and female. Okay, That's again, that's if you purchase the HD Human Anatomy set. If you don't, you'll have these regular mixer samples here. And just to have fun, we can just go ahead and click Start Mixing. Okay, we'll talk about the details as we get along here. So it gives you a little green doodad gizmo in the middle there, and you can just click and drag it to whatever you want. Okay, so you can click to the female. Oh, we have the female wheel here. Okay, so generally you don't want to start with a male neutral base character and use the female wheel, so you can just click this off again. And okay, it looks weird now like that, obviously. But if we go to like male, for example, and then click on Start Mixing, okay, we can go up here and click. And if we click on reset current blend point position, that'll reset where we're currently at. If you set reset all blend point positions, it'll take your character back to the center point here, okay? So we can like kind of move these around and it's looking a little bit weird now. So what I want to do here is probably just reset everything. Let's just reset our character. Had a little bit of an issue there. Um, Reset the base character. I'm not sure why it's asking me to restart the project. This may be due to the technical snafu I was mentioning earlier. Never try to do updates right before a presentation. That's good advice for anyone out there. Um, yeah, so when this character loads up, I'll show you the basic how that works without resetting the female sliders there. I should have loaded in the female one just to show you her anyways. But okay, start mixing. Here we go. So with the basic stuff, so go down here, there's the tune type character, there's a different type of character. And there's Gibro, I think his name is, or Gilbro or whatever. He's like a little dwarf type character. We can zoom in a little bit to see him. And like I mentioned here, you can click here, reset current blend position. That'll take you back to the middle there. And if you have all the other, if you have all sorts of different things set and you click on reset all blend point positions, that should take you back to the default base male character. All right. So yeah, that's basically it. That's basically the functionality of just blending all the different things together. Let's just reset it for now. You can go over to the head here as well. So head, you have the head itself, and you can click and here's our default Aaron character. So notice it's only the head changing now, so we can zoom in on the head. Again, this is very intuitive, so there's not really much to explain here. You can kind of just move things around and use various heads. I'm just showing you the default right now. This is the head shape. So the head shape is different from the actual head. So head shape will actually just keep the same features, but it'll just change the head shape. Okay? Like the topology, the shape of the head. You can go to eyes here as well. So you can look at a lot of like small details. If you zoom in closely on the eyes here, you can see it better. Okay. So again, I don't want to spend too much detail, or too much time just messing around because it's very intuitive, self-explanatory, really, in different nose shapes. I just want to show you that you can go into a lot of detail and blend the different shapes together. Okay, and there's mouth as well. There's jaw. Jaw is actually very important, and we'll talk about that in just a moment here as well. So all these different areas you can blend together. And ears. Okay, you don't really need to. I don't really need to go through each one. I don't think here. Important is the body. Okay, so body is a really cool feature because this allows you to adjust not only the scale, which is this one right here, the body ratio. Okay, so the body ratio adjusts the skeleton of the character, and that's very important for when you're doing motions, animations, and retargeting. So you can see there's different ratios here, and Gibro is really short. Okay, so notice the head here will stay the same, but the bone ratio for the body will get smaller. So if you want to have a character, like with dwarfism or something like that, that has a very small body and stature, but a larger head still, you can use this preset right here. Okay. And body scale, like I mentioned, is very, very important once you get into animation. Body shape is different. Body shape just basically adjusts the topology of the body. So you can see here more muscular, and this one here is a bit bulkier. Okay, and this is Gibro. So this is Gibro's body if he wasn't so short. Okay, you can see he's very like thin and slight and whatnot. But yeah, these are basically just all, it's all the functionality, the basic functionality of ActorMixer. And you can basically just go in here and spend an afternoon just messing around, and you can learn pretty much a lot just by going through all these things here. These buttons here, there's a previous wheel set, next wheel set. You can save your own wheel sets here as well. You can randomize them if you want. One important thing to note is if you're like, if you want to find the source content in the content manager over here, just click on morphs here and it'll take you to where the morphs are. It's already there. And if you click on skin, it'll take you to where the skins are here, okay? So it'll directly take you to skin and you see head. We have the CC5 human characters, our pack right here. I normally like to go into pack view to be honest, but it automatically takes you into the item tab here. So in item tab, you can find all the different human textures. So there's CC4 or CC5 stylized 4K. Um, and these are all the ones here. Now here's the ActorMixer core library that I mentioned earlier. Okay, so with ActorMixer Pro, you get this core library and you get all these different skin presets for like, for example, female African. There's a number of different ones right here. Let's try something like, since we have a male character on the screen right now, male African, for example, maybe Tariq Miles. If we just double click him, we can replace all the textures on our template character here right now, and it'll give you some 4K male African texture. And these all look really different. I mean, I don't want to spend time like just kind of going through them one by one because that'll waste time on loading. Um, but yeah, you guys can basically experiment on your own time. I really highly recommend the ActorMixer Pro library just because it's really detailed, and we're releasing new content all the time, which is really great. If you take a look at this character, we have the same almost default male neutral character, but we have this skin which is really nice. You can see all the detailed blemishes on it and everything. And if you take something like this into Blender and render it with Eevee or Cycles or something like that, you get really, really cool detail. And I'll show you that in just a moment, a little bit later on. So a lot of fun. ActorMixer Pro, highly recommend it, to be honest. Lots and lots of stuff to go through there. If we go back, there's also, like I mentioned, the human anatomy set. So the human anatomy set only has 12, so a little bit less. We can maybe change this guy to like a male elder. Just to show you one more, for example. This male skinny one I like to use for a lot of characters here, by the way. This male skinny 4K character. He looks really gaunt, almost like some. I don't know if you guys remember I Am Legend, that movie with Will Smith, the kind of zombie type movie. It really reminds me of those type of like those crazy zombies that run at you. It was a really cool movie. But yeah, really cool stuff. Let's just make sure wait for this to load here, and then I'll show you how you can basically replace all these sliders. Okay. So again, it looks maybe a little bit strange because the character, his face is not, I mean, it's only the skin here. The face itself, the mesh itself is not saggy, but the skin is looking fairly saggy. So it looks like, he still has a very good face shape, but just the skin is really quite saggy on him as well. So, um, okay, let's start with an Aaron character. So I'm going to show you if you want to bring in your own character here. Let's start a new project, and I'll bring in our free character Aaron. Let's just go back to characters here, and I like to go to pack view, like I mentioned, and in CC5 characters we have Aaron. Okay, so generally when you bring in your character, you want to remove any sort of, if you're just doing the modeling, you want to remove any sort of hair. So this Aaron character obviously doesn't have any hair, he doesn't have any clothing, but you want to remove any hair, any clothing, any accessories before you get into the actor mixing. So let's start with the Aaron base here, and we're going to blend him with a few other things here. And you can see here, here's the basic Aaron. This is what he looks like with only underwear, without his other clothes on there. Okay, so again, if I had hair on him, for example, or earrings or accessories, you'd want to remove those. Now, they recommend that if you are, doing this type of blending, that you go into like the stage here. There's atmosphere and CC5 character atmosphere. We have these grayscale ones, and the tutorials recommend that if you are doing any sort of actor mixer stuff, that you use like a grayscale just so you can see the features better or whatnot. All this grayscale thing is actually is just a scene. a special effect under visual here, by the way. You just change color adjust right there. It's in the visual tab. So it looks kind of cool and moody though, like film noir if you wanted to do something like that. Anyways, and then also under there's a material plus you can add here as well that makes your character just kind of mannequin gray. Okay. You have to click and drag this one onto the character. So let's start with this. And I'm gonna basically try to create a sort of like alien type character because we have some really cool mixer packs by an independent developer called Oscar Fernandez. Um, See, I've got some comments already in the chat here. I won't be able to engage with the comments at the moment just because I'm kind of doing the live demo here, but thanks for the interaction, guys. We got this. Andrew Hughes mentions using ZBrush. Andrew, I'm pretty sure you're aware of you might be aware of the tutorials that Pablo Munoz has done. They're on our site as well. I can probably look up those later on YouTube. But yeah, some really good. I know we have a lot of ZBrush or ZBrush if you're in the UK. ZBrush artists that use the Gozi plugin, going back from ZBrush to this. And I'll show you the similar pipeline, but I'm going to use Blender instead because I don't know ZBrush worth crap. So, anyways, okay. So there's the mannequin gray. They say it's easier to look at the features with this. I personally don't think so, to be honest. I'm just going to Control Z these, but this is kind of like the recommended um, way to do things. Oh, I turned it on and off again. Okay, so I just Control Z to everything, by the way, there. Okay, so let's try this again. So if we have a base character now, a different character, we can select our character and then go into ActorMixer. So the feature I mentioned earlier, the randomize, you can find that up here. This is like the random head, okay, random face. If you click this button up here in the toolbar, it'll give you like a random face. I'm not going to do that right now. You can imagine it'll just be a random face, okay? There's a couple other features as well here. You can change the random face settings, okay? Right here, if you click on that, it'll load up the random face settings here, and it'll just prompt you to give the directories where you want the faces to come from. And this is our ActorMixer library, okay, the ActorMixer custom library. Yeah, okay. So you can kind of explore that on your own time. It's pretty self-explanatory. And then here, this is where you create mixer assets. So this one we'll talk about a bit later. Very important. This is the pro feature, like I mentioned. You're not going to get this with the free version, unfortunately. So just so you know that. And we'll create mixer assets a little bit later once we bring in a custom character. Okay, let's take Aaron and let's do ActorMixer. We got a good 20 minutes left here. And this time you want to select current, okay? And start because we have Aaron as the current guy on the screen here. Oh, Andrew mentions here use the 3 alien pack with as long as Gilbro. Yeah, so the 3 alien pack is the one that I'm going to be talking about later. This is the one that Oscar Fernandez has created, which is really, really cool. Okay, so in the content manager, you'll find all the stuff. There's a new category called Actor Mixer now, by the way. Okay. And this one here is where you find all the mixer packages. So there's the HD Human Anatomy set that I mentioned, the Mixer Core library. That's the Actor Core library that you'll get with the Actor Core Pro plugin. And the Mixer Samples is the free one here. Okay. And under that, you'll find all the different categories here: character, head shape. So these are the different categories we went through earlier. Okay. In the Actor Mixer UI here. So, and there's body ratio, body shape. So you can apply these if you want directly to the character, or you can actually just click and drag them into ActorMixer. Let's bring this over here. So I'm going to go ahead because I want to create sort of like I found this really, really good for creating sort of like Star Trek alien type characters. Like Star Trek always has a new alien of the week, basically. That has like a weird, different head shape. And if you're like half Klingon and half human, you can blend those two together really easily. I'm really hoping someone creates a blender or mixer slider for a Klingon. That would be really cool. Um, yeah, so you'll have the mixer wheel character, for example. So here's the pack I mentioned earlier. Um, This is the Oscar Fernandez pack. I'm just going to click on pack view here because it's you get a better visualization here. So these are some content packs that we have available in the content store. These are like stylized, kind of like Street Fighter type characters. They're called Urban Kings. And these are the alien mixer ones that are really cool from Oscar Fernandez. So if I want to, I'm going to basically go ahead and under character, because we're in the character tab right now, I'm going to just basically bring our alien mixer characters in. Okay, so we can just go in here and you see the CC mixer preset. You can just click and drag it over here. Okay, who should we replace? Let's replace this guy up here. Okay, so now you can see the icon is replaced there. We can bring the other guy in, this kind of cool looking lizard alien here. Just so you know, you have to have at least three sliders or three mixer assets in your wheel here. You don't have to have all six. You, excuse me, you can just have three. We can bring in this alien here. Oh, need to go into the pack first, get the preset. And then maybe we can even throw in a human anatomy, HD human anatomy. Let's find the muscular dude. Yeah, let's bring that guy in. All right. So this is going to be kind of a cool looking, an interesting combination of mixer assets here. So if again we go start mixing, let's see what we can make here. So here's that alien. And again, we have the basic skin, the same skin, and you can replace the skin later. You can replace it earlier if you know what kind of, character you're going for. So Oscar Fernandez did an excellent job on the proportions and scales of these characters. So you can mix this guy with, Gilbro and get something like this. You can mix Gilbro with a buff, muscular guy here. So here's the muscular guy from Human Anatomy. You mix him with Gilbro, you get an interesting result like this. He's like Gilbro, but he's strong. Okay. And then you can go further in and maybe mix these two together. That doesn't look too good, to be honest. Those two don't really blend well together. But again, it's all about experimenting. And what you can do is you can actually let's just reset that one. Okay, we have to reset and starting mixing. It's disabled when you are not mixing. But let's reset that. You can click and drag these to each other side, for example. Let's try maybe the big guy and the muscular guy and the bulky guy might make an interesting combination. So if we take those two like this, okay, there you go, like more like a Shrek type character. Okay, that might look like, Shrek if you changed his skin, something like that. And then you can go into, I think that looks kind of interesting. Maybe a bit more muscular, a bit less fat. Okay, well, I look like a kind of a big looking bouncer guy there. All right, and then we can go over to like the head, for example. And the head, we can go into the head assets as well. So we have all these different packs under head. We do go back to character. Here we go, head. Okay, so maybe this guy, I want him to have a head more like a more alien type head. Okay, so let's bring in, for example, this alien, this horned alien here. I think this guy looks kind of cool. And then start mixing. Let's give him slightly more of like an alien head. Okay, like this. All right, so he's looking kind of freaky looking. Maybe blend him more with like a African American type face, something like this. And again, this stuff is really cool. It's really fun to experiment with. You can go down to the body as well here. Maybe we want to make his scale a bit smaller. Okay, so let's go to body ratio here. And I don't know, which body ratio should we choose? Um, let's do the human anatomy set. Maybe we want him to have more of a slim body ratio for the male character. Let's bring that down here. Okay, and I mean, you can really go wild with this stuff. Notice with the body ratio, it'll kind of adjust the body size, but the head will kind of remain the same there. Okay, so it really depends on the sort of result that you're looking for. There's Gilbro. we can make him more like a dwarfish type character as well, you know, just short and stocky like that. This stuff is really good for mixing aliens. Okay, and then there's the body shape. Maybe start mixing here. Give him like a thin him out a little bit, maybe. And again, just be like very cognizant of, having ratios that are too strange will kind of create some weird results on your character. So, you know, something like this. Okay. He's like a short, stocky, dwarfish type character, just with kind of weird shapes on his head. Okay, so we'll work with that guy. I think that's fine. Again, I didn't really plan on a specific sort of a mix of different characters here. Just kind of went by the seat of my pants and see which kind of looks cool. Slightly chubby character from Star Trek, maybe he's small. Okay, and then when you're done that, uh, you want to change the shape of the face. So if you have like if you go to head, for example, and change your face shape, this is just the shape of the head here. Again, we can do some more modifications to it. Just tweak, like slight tweaking. But the cool thing about this is it's so much easier than, the previous way that we did things, going through sliders one by one in the morph sliders, and I'll show you that in just a moment here. So here's our character right here. You know, maybe his traps are kind of large, and his body is fairly large on the side here. So this type of character, you would have to adjust the if you have your character walking, for example, like if we went to our motions here and I went to walk, we'd ha likely have some mesh, um, like our character. You can see it's not too much, but his biceps are kind of intersecting his torso because his torso is so wide, but his shoulders are so thin, close together like that. And so characters like this would need, sort of modifications um, in like something like Blender, for example, which I'll show in just a moment with a different type of character. We're going to get into a stylized character. But quickly before we do that, I want to show you, how you can add different skins to your character. So in ActorMixer, again, we can go to like the latest. And this is basically loading the prior mixer settings. Okay, so which are the ones that we already had. And it kind of just resets those. So you can start from this point instead of starting from the current character that you had earlier. All right, and so here, for example, um, let's go to um, body, and this for the body one, we're going to go to HD Human Anatomy set, and I'm going to choose a male preset, start mixing, and there, something a little bit thinner, just so the it's not intersecting too much. Okay, but you'll notice here that actually the head shape changes here as well to match the character. So pay close attention, particularly to the neck and the jaw area. So when you're adjusting the shape, notice that the neck will get thicker and the head will get smaller or larger. Okay. It'll blend depending on the body shape. So keep that in mind as well. Like I said, non-destructive, it all goes really well together. But it's really all up to, the sort of result that you want. Let's do something a bit more. Again, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but yeah, it does get addicting, as you can tell. All right, we'll just work with that. Um, but I wanted to show you also in the skin. So if you go over here to skins, okay, it'll take you to the skin folder here. And like I mentioned, you can go to pack. Oh, but it automatically takes you to the items there. But you can go to like overall, for example, since we're kind of quick on time here. Those Oscar Fernandez alien mixers, we have the skins here for those. So you can apply the lizard alien skin to that, for example, and he'll look kind of cool. This kind of body type is more uh, maybe suitable, or this type of character is more similar to our character's body type here. So if you click and drag that over, again, they're all UV maps, so they'll apply to the right positions on any character. If this character was fat, we could still use this texture as well here. So there now he's looking more like a Star Trek alien, for example. Let's try the horn alien one here. And after this, we will use a stylized character and take that stylized character into Blender and show you how to create your own morphs or basically break up your character into its own sections, which you can then blend in using the ActorMixer. Okay, we'll just work with this guy. It looks pretty creepy, to be honest. But again, you can always take these textures into anywhere and mess around with them as well. And then later on, say for example, let's try maybe stylized. Let's try Gibro's skin here. And later on, you can also open up SkinGen. You can add like hair and stuff to your characters. You can add scars, which I'll show really briefly. We might go a little bit over time just because we were about 5 minutes late to get started here. But yeah, it's a lot of fun to experiment with, and sometimes I get carried away myself. Um, so, but yeah, and Anthony's mentioning, do we get to see this recording later? Yes, this will be this. We are recording this, so it'll be on YouTube as well later on. Okay, so there's your character. And again, after you do all your actor mixer stuff like that, you can go into your morphs right here. Okay. And in your morphs, you'll find all your morph sliders. And there's the alien mixer sliders. So if you see this little green icon right here on the top left of your slider, that means it's an actor mixer asset. And you can bring this into actor mixer, or you can just kind of, use it here. Okay. So if you don't want to do the mixing stuff, you can do the manual sliders by themselves one by one. Okay. So if you want to make it a little bit more like an alien body, toad alien body. Again, that's not going to work too well for this one, but make him a little bit more alien-like. And then there's, the further down here, you'll find the Actor Mixer core library for HD head, HD body. So, HD body, the human anatomy set, maybe blend a little bit of the male bodybuilder into this. Okay. So there you go. I mean, it's just really all up to you. Get a really kind of live, thin type of character, maybe like an avatar type character like that. And again, you can go into there's all sorts of blend shapes here that you can mess around with. Um, Maybe we can go like scale, for example, under head and head scale. If you wanted to increase the head scale by itself. Okay. So you can use Actor Mixer or you can do them all one by one by using the morphs here as well. Okay. So I think that guy looks actually kind of interesting. Again, I kind of didn't plan this out, but went by the seat of my pants. But after you're done all the different morphs and stuff, then you can go into your skins or you can go into SkinGen right here. And you can rather let's go to our skins actually first. Um, so overall, and full skin, you can modify these all as well. I won't go into SkinGen to be honest. It might take a little bit longer. So here's SkinGen, by the way. This tab up here is called Appearance. If you activate the SkinGen editor, it's going to take your character into layers. Yes, you want to keep the modified result. And then there's like things like blemishes, for example, if you wanted to have this guy with a scar or something. I'm just looking at the time here. Yeah, it just needs to load up SkinGen just a moment here. And then we'll do our blender thing. And if we have time, I can also show you Morph Animator because a lot of people ask me about Morph Animator, how you can because you can actually take these Actor Mixer blends and you can animate them in iClone, which is really fun. Just keep in mind that when you do that, though, that I didn't mention subdivisions earlier, but our new HD characters have three subdivision levels. They have subdivision level 0, subdivision level 1, and subdivision level 2, which I'll show you in just a moment. Maybe we can load up iClone while this is happening so you can kind of see that. So I hope we can get into that a little bit later. Okay, so SkinGen's taking a second here. Oh, we had to bake those results first, that's why. Should be any moment now. Unless it froze on me, hopefully not. If not, we can just load up our stylized characters anyways. Oh, here we go. But anyways, yeah, I'll talk about the different subdivision levels because if you take your character into iClone, you're only going to be able to use the morph animator with if you have your character baked into one specific mesh. It's not going to be able to support subdivision levels, which I'll show you in just a moment. So here's our character in SkinGen. Let's throw a quick tattoo on him or something like that, just kind of show you guys how it works. Freckle, well, blemishes. Let's try skin decals, as you guys say in America. We say decals in Canada. But all sorts of things like this you can throw on there as well. There's acquired. So dirt, maybe some face dirt, scars, tattoos. Let's maybe throw in like a head side tattoo here. Okay, so boom, you can give him a nice tattoo. If you click on the tattoo, you can change the opacity, you can change all the different details here. Again, I don't want to get into too much details because that's not the focus of today's webinar, but you can throw all this stuff here as well. You can give him like a uh, bleeding wound on his head, for example. And there's all sorts. I didn't install too many packs, but now he looks a bit tougher. Okay. So there's our crazy alien character, and then you can just, add makeup and outfits and all that stuff. We can throw clothes on him, which I won't bother to, but now it'll bake these textures once we deactivate the editor. Okay, but you can see there, it's a lot of fun to just kind of throw around characters. Generally, you want to have an idea, like some sketches, before you get started on this, and have an idea of the specific type of character you want to go for. And it's really all about sort of trial and error when it comes to this stuff. Um, okay, so there's our character right there. All right, so the next scenario I'm going to talk about for the next 10, 15 minutes here is basically bringing your character into Blender and then bringing it, doing your own custom morphs and then saving those morphs as different assets. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's start a new project here. And for this one, I'm going to use a character that doesn't have subdivision levels. Um, so in actor packs. Let's use maybe like this Comic Heroes Alpha Man. Okay, this guy's cool. And you can see he has body slider, head slider, wrinkle map, and facial profile. Now, if you're bringing in a previous generation character, like a CC3 character, not CC3 plus, but a previous generation character, what you'll want to do, I'll show you a little bit later after we take our character into Blender, is save all the different assets separately. Okay, no, I've already done this for this specific character, which is why I'm using him. Go up here to create mixer assets. Okay, so say you bring in your own custom character. You just come from ZBrush or Blender, create mixer assets right here. It's going to prompt you to give a morph name. Let's say something like Super Duper Dude. Okay, and it'll prompt you to, and it's going to create these mixer sliders. So basically, what it does, and this is available only under the Pro version, like I mentioned. Basically, what it does is it separates the head into all these different elements here, which correspond to the different sliders, the morph assets in the mixer or in ActorMixer. Okay, so the eyes, the chin, and you can click and drag these, like I mentioned, into the ActorMixer UI, the body. And these are all the different presets for head parts, head, body, and character. You can also save avatar presets. So these will be not in ActorMixer. These will be in your library, your custom library. Okay. So for example, Super Duper Dude, let's just create this. It takes like a minute or two. And while we're doing that, I'll load up Blender and get our project started here. And here we go. And I'm going to be using Blender Data Link for this. So let's just delete what we have on the screen right now. Okay, so just took a second there. And where it'll all save to is if you go to your custom tab up here, you go to ActorMixer. Okay, so you can see it successfully imported 30 items. Under ActorMixer, under character, you'll find Super Duper Dude. Okay, so there's our character mixer right there. There's a head mixer for him, the head shape mixer. Okay, Super Duper Dude right there. So here's one I saved earlier. This is a different type of character. And if I, for example, go to ActorMixer with our current character, Here's a blend shape. This is some modification I did earlier in Blender in the trial run here. And I'll show you basically importing that for the head, for example. So say, for example, I took this head shape into Blender. I took this character into Blender, brought back the head shape. Let's go over to our head here and let's change this super duper guy head to over here and start mixing. Okay. There's the alien head. Oh, that's the super duper dude. That's the same head. That's why. Okay. Hero dude head. Oh, ASDF head. That's the one I want. Okay, so start mixing here. Okay. So there's our normal character, and this is just some, stuff I did in Blender, and you can get that. You can also animate that as well in iClone, which I'll show you in just a moment here. But let's just reset all this for now. And what I'm going to do, like I mentioned for this character here, we can take him into iClone by just clicking on iClone's open now, I believe. Yep. Okay. By clicking on this button here, and I'll show you how to morph animate him, hit that face a little bit later on using the morph animator. But for now, we're going to take him into Blender first using data link to do those modifications I showed you. So I'll show you that process. It's really easy and really simple. Hopefully you're better at modeling than I am because I'm at the level of maybe like a 3-year-old in terms of like 3D modeling. But okay, so this Blender plugin is free. So Blender Pipeline, we can go to data link right here. Okay, and just we can drag this into our like the docket over here, and you can see it's already listening. And then in Blender, we need to go press the N hotkey and link and click connect. And so now what we have is a connection between iClone, or sorry, either character creator and Blender, and we can just send our avatar over. And this is the first step you want to do. You want to send the entire full avatar over first, and subsequently you can do things like update the morphs, which we'll do a little bit later. You can do different poses, motions, and you can rigify your character, which is a whole nother can of worms. But maybe I can find the Blender data link. Let's see if this pops up here. I'll throw this tutorial into, oops. I'll throw this tutorial into the chat for you guys here. This shows you how to install Blender data link. Okay, looks like oh, Andrew has surgery. Good luck with your surgery, Andrew. That's crazy. Hopefully everything goes well there. Okay, so if you want to learn about getting Blender data link set up, I put a link in the chat window for you guys there, and that's a different tutorial. But Blender data link is awesome. I always promote it every webinar. So our character has already been sent over to Blender. Oh, one thing I forgot to do is what you want to do here is you want to put your character into an A pose before you send it over. This is very important, especially when you're doing the morph editing. So apologies for that, guys. Let's do this one more time real quick. Pose, A pose. Okay, I always do this before sending the character over. Let's just connect it real quick again. Send avatar over. Sorry if this is going so fast for everyone, but we actually didn't, for this one, we didn't need to send the character over with the cape and everything. Okay. Make sure you put him back into A pose here. Okay, so in Blender, it'll load up that character, and then we can just do some quick sculpting. I'm not going to spend too much time on the sculpting since we're a bit restricted on time here. But so let's just take our character, select the character body mesh there. Let's go to sculpting mode over here. Let's just press 1 here. Let's bring our character. Press 1 on the keyboard, by the way, to get a front view like this. And let's just maybe stretch out his ears. So this is what I showed you earlier. Let's use symmetry for the geometry here. And the reason why I put him into the A pose first was so you can actually use this symmetry. If you don't put your character into the A pose first, then the symmetry function in Blender will be a little bit wonky. Just so you're aware of that. So you can maybe just take the radius down a bit, bring his ears out, give him like some elf ears. Let's give ourselves a larger radius, and then let's bring up the chin. So this is the kind of the same modification I showed you earlier. And we can maybe just stretch out his nose a little bit, widen his nose. And again, I'm not very good at all this stuff, but bring his chin out even wider. And all these fun things you can do just modifying your character in various ways. You bring his nose out, his whole face out a little bit further. Oh, no, that's not going to do. You want to be very careful when you do this because you want the eyes to be in the same place. Um, and that can be modified later, but you take his chin out. Give him a super strong chin. Bring this back a little bit. There you go. Give him an even stronger chin than you had before. Okay, cool. And then when you're done with that, what you can do is just go ahead and click on Mesh, and that'll send your mesh back to Character Creator. Okay, so you can see he's already updated. And there's the modifications we made. So we made him look a little bit stronger with a bigger chin and kind of pointy ears. So then what you want to do is you can save this, go up here like I mentioned here and create mixer assets. And you can save your avatar presets as well. It's like elf test, maybe strong elf test. Okay, create. And then what you can also do is you can save it because in iClone, what you're going to need to do is go over to morph creator right here. And this character already actually has some morph animations applied to his cape, I believe. So morph creator is going to open up our morph creator window right here. Okay. Did I save all that stuff? Yeah, it saved it. Okay. So custom. So here's the strong elf test head. Okay, the mixer slider, the strong elf test head shape, eyes. Okay, nose, yada yada. I think you kind of get the point there. Um, okay, so here's our actor mixer, or rather, this is our morph animator. So you can see here the actually has morph animations on the cape as well. So you can have the cape move, and these are just morphs. You can have it kind of flutter back and forth. Okay, all this stuff can be animated here, and he even has like cool eye beams. So zoom, like that. Okay, he can shoot beams out of his eyes. You can make them more narrow. You can make them taper. Like zoom, like that. All this stuff can be animated. But you can grab this character on your own time and experiment with him. He's got some really cool stuff. Okay, but that's the full character. What we want to do is click on the body here. Okay, and you can see over here we want to create a morph. Okay, and the file formats you have available are iAvatar, OBJ, or CC Avatar. So, we can, when we export the character like this from Character Creator, we can export it as either one of those formats. Let's try OBJ, for example, just to make it, so you can import it into Blender and whatnot. OBJ, you can say character with current pose. Oh, here you just want to export the body by itself. So CC body right here. Okay. File, export, OBJ, and selected item. Okay. Um, and YAP default, etc., etc. Okay. Let's just test, whatever, on our desktop. Save that. Um, I believe I might have had an issue with this earlier, the character not being in an A pose in iClone. And if that's the case, then we're going to be let's take the character into A pose just in case. You always want to keep your poses consistent. Otherwise, you're going to have some kind of things that are messed up. A pose, A pose. Okay, so open A pose right here, just like that. Oops, is he in the A pose? Okay, he's already in the A pose. Okay, sorry for that little aside there. Got a couple more minutes, and I'll just show you how you can quickly animate this. It's really cool. Because, for example, if you want your character, to transform or see even something like your character gets bonked on the head with a baseball bat, for example, you can have like a little thing kind of pop out of his head um, as a result of the baseball hit. There's all kinds of fun stuff you can do with morphs. But okay, let's just do that. Let's create a slider, and this OBJ. Okay, and this should work just fine. Hopefully it won't be displaced. Okay, so there we go. There's our character and test. Roop. Okay. The A poses were slightly different. I think I messed around with the A pose. But yeah, generally you shouldn't have displacement like that. Um, and if you do, you know, the end all save all is just to save it as iAvatar format. Let's just delete this one. And from character creator, we'll save it as a or export rather as an iAvatar, and that should be fine. Yeah, okay. Alpha Man, Alpha Man 2, just in case. All right, and then we should be able to blend him into Morph. Actually, I think I might have saved a previous version of this. ASDF. Maybe it's this one I saved. This is from my previous run through. Okay, and it just says this. Don't worry about that. Okay, there you go. Okay, so this is the one I previously saved. But let's try the one we just exported, which was Alpha Man 2. Yeah, so iAvatar format, you don't need to worry really about the this is the one we just created. Zoop. All right, there you go. Looks pretty cool. And again, his hair is an accessory, so you'll have to conform that hair. That's something done in Character Creator. But there you go. So you can actually animate that, and you can select Update Morph to iClone. Okay, and then in iClone, it'll update that morph, and then we can animate the character. So he's like, you can do something fun, like you can change your character into a Super Saiyan or something, for example. So we go to like Morph Animator, and then frame one, we're like this, and then frame, 50 or 60, we're like this. He's like, and at the same time, he's also shooting his um, eye things. Okay, so then we have this. Oh, we need to make sure that originally he's at this point here. Okay. All right, so it'll do something like this. And again, it doesn't look cool, but you get the point of the functionality anyways. But yeah, I think we're 5 minutes over time here, so I think that's all I really wanted to show at this point. Just kind of how easy it is to do that and use it all together with ActorMixer. And with ActorMixer, you can blend those shapes together and use it with Morph Creator, Morph Animator to if you want to change from. I thought it's kind of cool. You can change from one character shape, face shape to another. Even scale. Don't mess around too much with scale because scale will, with the Morph Animator, it'll be really, really weird. And like I mentioned earlier, very important to note, the reason you can do this is because the character is baked, okay? It doesn't have a subdivision level, it's only subdivision level 0. Okay, so if you have a character like I'd bring in, for example, um, one final thing just to note here, any of our human anatomy characters or CC5 characters, um, whoops, wrong one here. Oh, need to go to actor. Um, character. Let's see, which one should I bring in here that has more than one subdivision level? Any of our Aryan character, for example, will have it. Just replace all. So say, for example, you have, you made your character from the HD neutral mesh and you want to be able to, use it in the Morph Animator and iClone. Again, you'd have to bake it. And if you want to create like an army of characters that are, very low resolution, I'll show you that here. So if I press Alt 2, for example, on Aaron's mesh, you can see right now he's currently at subdivision level 1. So there's also subdivision level 0, okay, which is the base one here. And you'll see the mesh or the topology will change to more simplified topology in just a moment here. Um, But yeah, once you like I mentioned here, you have to bake. So there's a simple topology there that's subdivision level 0, and then you can change to subdivision level 2 here. Just to show you the most optimized one. Generally, when you're using ActorMixer, what I recommend is using subdivision level 1, just because you get the fine balance of, the topology is not too complicated and it doesn't delay too much. There's not too much lag. So there you can see the higher level, level 2 topology there. And this is where HD sliders come really in handy with level 2. Now you can see right now we have the Project Triangle at 580,000. Okay, so that's quite large for for a real-time character. It's still manageable for sure, but it's large if you have like 10 of these characters on the screen. What you can easily do to bake it to like a subdivision level of 0 is you can use these options down here under the Attributes tab. You can use Convert to Game Base or Optimize and Decimate. So if you convert it to a game base, it basically converts it to like a low resource character. The materials are all baked in. So make sure your characters are basically the way you want it before you do this. Optimize and Decimate allows you to choose different LOD levels, and you can see the parameters right here. So for example, LOD 1, it's for far distance. LOD 2 is for furthest distance. Here you're only going to have a 512 by 512 texture resolution. It's going to change the number of bones as well, and 800 tries. Okay, so it's really low resource. You can have like 100 plus of these characters in a scene. Okay, so this is like a scene if you have like an army of characters running running or something like that in a field in a battle. This is the kind of LOD you'll want. LOD 1 you can have around 50. And again, it all depends on your system resources here as well. And then actor build are the actor core characters that you find in the actor core website there. All right. So yeah, apologies for going over time there, guys. We're gonna get to the Q&A here now. So if you have any questions, make sure you put your questions in the Q&A window there, and I'll get to those in just a moment. Thank you to everyone for sticking with me for that extra time there. Andrew just mentions here in the chat our Morph Creator and Animator plugins. I don't see them in ICC. So Morph Creator and Animator are in iClone. We don't. They're not in Character Creator. So I skipped over to iClone here, where you'll find the Morph Creator and Morph Animator. So you can have fun with those. There's all sorts of different ways. Let's see how far it goes. Oh, it goes pretty far. You can have all sorts of fun with those on your own time, but there you go. He reminds me of like Homelander. If anyone's watched that TV show, The Boys, he's like a weird cartoony version of that. Okay, let's go to the Q&A here. Q&A, we already got a few questions here. Okay, question from Oleg. Is there a CC5 equivalent of MetaHuman? Peach fuzz, those tiny facial hairs. Yeah, so CC5 equivalent, let's go back to character creator here. You would find any of that stuff in the hair section. I'm not sure about the Peach Fuzz. I haven't made a MetaHuman character in a while, actually. I certainly haven't used Peach Fuzz. But under hair, you'll find, all your hair stuff. There's all sorts of hair content packs. And I know some people are like, oh, all these different packs we have to buy. Well, it's kind of like if you want it, you can buy it. If you don't want it, you don't really need to. But why are these? Oh, hair elements. Yeah, they're all the hair stuff is in here. CC5 characters will have, the different eyebrows. The beard, I don't think I have the beard pack installed. Oh, I do have it. Okay. So there's like stubble hair, for example. This one is free. Okay, this one is free with character creator. The hair, this one's also free. Unfortunately, I don't have the beard pack installed right now. There's a what's it called? Beard and brows pack. That's really cool. Um, if I go to like not installed under hair, let's find a beard. Yeah, this one here, beard styles. The one I'm looking at is beard and brows pack. Oh, this one here, yeah, beard and brows builder. Okay, I can install that if I want, but won't worry about that right now. But that's the closest you'll find to like Peach Fuzz. And this pack right here, I can actually go to the product page and put this in the chat for you guys if you want. Where's my chat window? Did I lose my chat window? There we go. Yoop. All right, the beard and brows pack right there. Really a lot of really good options there. Okay, so DW mentions, can ActorMixer Pro be used offline? Oh, good question. Oh man. Have I tried to use it offline? Uh, the okay, so the good question. ActorMixer Pro will include the ActorMixer Pro assets. So I do not believe it can be used offline because just those ActorMixer Pro assets will have DRM protection on them. And whenever there's DRM protection involved in any of the packs, you're gonna have, if unless you're online, unless you're connected, you're not gonna it's gonna give you a watermark. So I think you should still be able to use it, but you'll have a watermark until you go online. So you won't be able to do any sort of exporting or anything like that. That's my educated guess. For myself, I don't have that issue to be honest, but yeah, my guess DW would be if you're offline, you'll get a watermark, but you can still mess around with those ActorMixer Pro assets. Okay, so DW mentions, are the system requirements for ActorMixer Pro the same as CC5 or more? To be honest, ActorMixer is not a heavy resource. It doesn't require a lot of resources on your system. So it's not like heavy on your system. If you can run CC normally, you can run ActorMixer Pro no problem. I see no issue there. Like I mentioned, it's not a very heavy system resource program. So Kent A mentions here, can we have custom specific adjustment sliders in a custom ActorMixer panel or an advanced panel that just shows all adjustments in a single panel rather than needing to switch between the standard and preset panels? Yeah, so you can create your own custom ActorMixer panel. I didn't mention that. I think I maybe forgot to mention that. You can create your own custom ActorMixer wheels. So whenever you bring your own wheel in, you can load it and reload it and whatnot. Let's just wait for ActorMixer to load here. Um, but you can also, whenever you have your character modified, you can also go into your morphs and you can click on currently used, and it'll show you like all the different sliders that you're currently using. Um, let's just wait for this to load up here. Oh, maybe because we have other stuff running in the background. Yeah, this is taking a while to load for some reason. Um, but yeah, I can't. I will show you once this loads that we have that custom ActorMixer panel. Um, it's not like a different panel. It's just like you create your own custom wheel of different ActorMixer sliders. So I'll show you that in just a moment when it loads. For now, I'm just going to move on to the next question because seems to be stuck at 33%. So Danny Cameron asks, is there a tutorial or some lesson on how to get a cleaner look to the characters I'm importing into Unreal Engine from iClone 8? I'm using the transfer live link, and while they look good, I feel like I need to make some adjustments in Unreal Engine after I transfer iClone characters in Unreal. So Danny, hopefully, well, if you're using Unreal Live Link, you will have the Unreal Auto Setup already installed. Um, oh, there you go. Just crashed. Congrats. Hooray, hooray. Um, okay, let's load this up again. Sorry, Danny. Yeah, if you're using Live Link, you probably already have Unreal Auto Setup installed. Um, to make your characters to tweak them in Unreal, I mean, you can basically go into the all the different parameters of your character, all the different texture maps in Unreal, and tweak them as you please. If you're familiar, I'm not going to load up Unreal and show that right now, but if you're familiar with Unreal and you know how you can customize your character's materials, like material graphs and everything like that, um, yeah, you can tweak them in Unreal. But auto setup generally does the trick fairly well. I've honestly never really had to tweak much with auto setup involved. So, um, yeah, and again, Danny, I'll mention this on top of that. When it comes down to it, your scene lighting is going to be very important, right? I mean, the shaders will transfer over one to one, pretty much identical, and they'll look better in Unreal a lot of the times because of the better lighting in Unreal, the better technology for lighting. But sometimes it may not be the material that you want to tweak in Unreal; it may be the lighting. So it's kind of a fine balance of both of those, to be honest with you. Um, I was gonna go with ActorMixer. It's a little base female this time. So hopefully that helps you, Danny. Yeah, can't say much else than that, to be honest. It's sort of a trial and error sort of thing, but with auto setup, it should transfer over completely one to one with no issues. Um, so Philippe asks a good question. Can you use heads created in Headshot too? Yes, absolutely. So again, Actor Mixer is not for textures, so it's not going to, I mean, you can save your headshot skins obviously and reapply them. But yeah, you can headshot too. You can import your headshot to uh, stuff. You can basically use that same create mixer assets function that I showed earlier with your headshot character loaded, and it'll load that head, or it'll save that head as a custom actor mixer asset. Adam Temple asks, how are you getting the tabs on right side of the view in CC? Oh, you just click and drag, really, to be honest. Um, it's loading something right now, but yeah, you can click and drag any of these windows. I'll show you in just a moment here. If I wanted to dock my content manager on the right, for example. Um, you can't dock Actor Mixer, unfortunately, but you can modify panel. I can dock it over here. Facial profile editor, I can dock over here. Just kind of move it to the side like this. Hopefully that answers the question there. Just click and drag, pretty simple stuff. What was I going to show? Oh, yeah. Previously we had mentioned the custom wheels. So you can see the wheel here. There's a male, female wheel. Say, for example, I loaded in some custom stuff here, like oh, so here's the custom mixer wheels. I need to go from not installed to installed here. Mixer package. Oh, I don't have any mixer wheels saved. So if for character, I threw in some different Urban King stuff. Byron and Jurgen. I like these guys' names. Byron and Jurgen. If you want to like save this wheel for later use, for example, you just go down here to save wheel set. Okay, and then you can load the wheel set, save wheel set, and save package here as well. So when you save a package, it'll save it to a specific folder right here, mixer wheel. Okay, and that'll be everything together. So save package will save all of it together. Okay, you can see package right here. Package right here, wheel right here, save package, save wheel. Oh, sorry. Save package, save wheel down here. All right. Hopefully that answered that previous question there. Next question's from Mark here. I can't bring up the actor mixer wheel. Um, Mark, what I'd recommend is probably trying to make sure that your character creator is updated to the latest version. I know when it first came out, some people were having issues loading up Actor Mixer, and yeah, so try making sure your version is updated to the latest version using Reallusion Hub, because I do know this happened before to other people, and when they updated it, it went away. So hopefully that works for you, Mark. Question from Paul Butler, can you perform actor mixer type morphing in iClone? For example, transforming a human from human to a wolf man. Yes, you can. So, I mean, what I did was a simple like elf ears and nose and chin up thing like that, just to make him look a little bit different, just to show you the functionality. But yeah, Paul, you can do that as well. You can transform your character from a human to a wolf man again, which is I think really cool. And Actor Mixer can really help with that. Uh, I showed you a custom shape in Blender, but if I wanted to, for example, I could take that same character and change him to like an alien, like an alien. I should have done that actually. It looks kind of cool. Instead of just the stupid um, eyes and or ears and nose thing. But yeah, I just wanted to show you the Blender functionality. I'm not really good at modeling. But yeah, you can actually save out your character as the alien character. It just has to be the same character base, okay? But you mix it with like the alien mixer slider, and you can change it to an alien in iClone using the morph animator, which is really cool. But again, just make sure that they both need to be baked into a zero subdivision. Okay, so that you can't have subdivision characters animated in iClone, unfortunately. And that's maybe we'll make a tutorial on that in the future. If you guys have any suggestions for tutorials that you want to do in the future, let us know. Just give us some feedback. We're going to send you the feedback form, so let us know any sort of cool ideas you have for tutorials. Let us know in the feedback form, and we are more than happy to produce those in the future. We run based on supply and or based on demand. So whenever the people speak, we listen in terms of tutorial topics. Okay, so Philippe mentions here, could you use Unreal Engine characters in the mixing wheel? Good question. Yeah, you can. To be honest, you can bring your metahuman characters into Character Creator. There's a pipeline for that. Did I do a webinar or tutorial on that? The tutorial was probably earlier this year, I think in February or March. But yeah, you can bring your metahuman characters and save them as CC characters and back and forth. With the new CC3 Plus characters, the topology and the rigs are basically one to one, so you can switch them back and forth. You can switch their parts back and forth. I think I did a webinar maybe 2 months ago. So look in September, October webinars. Um, I think I messed around with Unreal and took metahumans back and forth. I'll take a quick look and see if I can find it. But before that, I'll move on to the next. Well, let's see. Well, it'll just take a second here to look for it. Webinar. I'm getting old. I'm forgetting all the webinars that I previously did. Okay, this one was, oh yeah, so HD facial animation pipeline for Blender, CC characters for short films. So in the webinar archives, we have a few different ones where we used Unreal. Um, yeah, so this is the webinar archives. I'm just going to throw this link in the chat for you guys, webinar archives. And the one I suggest looking at here would be probably the last one I did, HD facial animation pipeline for Blender and Unreal Metahumans, because I believe in this one, again, this was November 11th. Wow, it was less than a month ago, a little bit more than a month ago. In this one, I did take metahumans into Character Creator and back and forth, I believe. And then the one before that is called How to Use CC5 Characters for Short Films in Unreal Engine. Um, yeah, maybe I should bring it over here so you guys can see it. I think I'm sharing this window. So these two right here, HD facial animation and how to use CC5 characters for short films in Unreal Engine. I think Solomon did some back and forth with that. These two ones are by Solomon. Jagway, amazing artist. How to use CC5 characters as VTubers. Yeah, so these two here and this one. We did three Unreal ones in a row. So hopefully that can give you some sort of solution there. Alvin Snurling mentions the best product you guys made by far. Great, thanks, Alvin. They were not ported into Unreal Engine 5 to 5.5. Yeah, if I can use a transformer tool with DAZ and then convert the character for use into ActorMixer. Oh man, transformer tool with DAZ. Yeah, you should be able to, Alvin. Again, you'll have to have the ActorMixer Pro version because when you bring in that DAZ character via DAZ transformer, you'll have to save out the mixer assets, the functionality that I showed earlier. But you can blend those into the new characters because it'll basically retopologize everything. And yeah, I've never done that myself, but technically, I don't see an issue with it. So yeah, give that a shot. I think it should work no problem. But yeah, you mentioned there's maybe a issue with characters importing into Unreal Engine from 5 to 5.5. Yeah, I can't speak to that. I didn't have any issue with that, but because I always just update to the latest version. I don't keep legacy versions of Unreal hanging around that much because when I I do a lot of my projects in iClone and then just export it to Unreal for for rendering or Blender. So yeah, but thanks for the compliment on the Actor Mixer for that, Alvin. Another question from Adam Tempe. Why does the character tab body get erased if you move the body in the body tab of the Actor Mixer? Shouldn't the center of the web be the initial body you started with when going to the body tab? Shouldn't the center of the web be the initial body you started with when going to the body tab? Let me see here. So yeah, basically, when I start mixing here, let's try and figure out what Adam is kind of getting at here. So here's a buff woman for you. Uh, well, okay, cool. So when you do something like this, if you click on reset all blend point positions, it's going to take it back to the middle there. Reset current blend point position, going back to the middle as well. Um, so if we go like this and start mixing again, it'll be in the same position. Um, I haven't messed around too much with that stuff. Let's try mixing the head as well. So just be aware when you mix the head, the scale will not go along with the body. But when you mix with the body, the head scale will go along with that. So let me see here. Okay, let's try this. Well, let's just try the body actually. Yeah, notice that the head shape will slightly change with the body here. Um, okay, something like that. Make her really skinny. And then go over to the head. Let's try and maybe change the mouth. Okay, so now if we click on reset all blend point positions, it'll reset back to the base. So all of them will reset. So body, mouth, head. Um, Hopefully that's what you're talking about, Adam. In terms of the difference between reset current blend point and all blend points. So reset all blend points is like all the different modifications we made on all the different tabs, but reset current one is only the current one we're using. If that's not the answer, Adam, just let me know. We'll go on to the next one for now, anyways. Robert Francis mentions here, are there any updates for supporting four-legged creatures fully in Reallusion? Good question, Robert. We basically get this like every webinar. Any updates for four-legged quadruped characters or whatnot? We are working on it, I can tell you that. In terms of an ETA, that's a little bit sketchy, to say the least. So just to let you know, Robert, we are working on quadruped support for the next version of iClone. So you can look forward to that, anyways. Adam mentions here in the chat the body tab erased your starting point. Uh, okay, let me just see here. So character, let's just start mixing here. Let's just change something like this. Oh, no, not that. Maybe make it more toon character. So body. Um, Yeah, it'll start from the current point because we when we started with character, we the character tab. So character is the overall strongest. It influences both the body and the head. So just so you're aware, it's kind of a hierarchy thing. So when you're modifying the character, you change your character to something like this. That's also going to influence the body starting point. So um, if you want the body starting point to be the same, then don't start with character. You can start with body. It's just kind of like a hierarchy. Think about like a bone hierarchy. Okay, if you scale up the upper arm, it's going to scale down the lower arm as well. Just think of it like that. One influences the other. So if you're modifying your character, it's also modifying the body, but the body tab, the starting point will remain in the middle. Okay, it won't be over here. So if you do something like this, it's just going to increase, it's going to deform it even more from the previous one. Hopefully that's clear as mud, but we're kind of just maybe mess around with it on your own time anyways, because it's just think of it as a hierarchy where character influences the body and the head. Yeah, it's starting point. I don't know. I'll figure that out later. But yeah, the way I just think of it is like the character influences the body and the head, and then you can strengthen them a little bit later. But and then again, one th that brings me to a good point. You kind of brought me to a good point there, Adam, where I want to show the currently used morphs. So if you have your character selected and you go to morphs, a lot of people are kind of like, where are my morphs? I just want to tweak this one little point here. You go up here to currently used. Okay. So currently used is very important for everyone who's messing around with this. Again, that little green icon there with the head, that means it's an actor mixer slider. That means it's being utilized via actor mixer. Okay. So here's the Alita body shape. And again, it starts here, and you can modify all these. You can see they all have the little green icon there. Okay. And it has this much influence of Mila and this much influence of neutral body ratio. Okay. So we can make it more neutral body ratio. All these different sliders can be modified. So the workflow that I recommend is basically using ActorMixer to get your initial shape. And then if you want to tweak the details, come into the morph sliders here because you can kind of just tweak specific features. Um, like the chin, for example, here. This is something that's hard to tweak by itself in ActorMixer. Okay, and this is where ActorMixer really kind of exceeds metahumans. So you can modify the specific features individually to have more or less influence of a particular actor mixer slider. And then again, you can combine that with anything like this, like the alien mixer. Okay, so just one specific feature and have your ears like that. You don't even need to do it in Blender like I did. You can just use this. Okay. All right, so we made her a little bit more outerworldly. So you can start with that base, and then of course you can just, throw a skin on there as well. It's so easy to get like tied up in this stuff and have a fun time. But let's see if we have a stylized one I can just throw in here. Stylized 2K. And it's just our Mila on there. There you go. Okay, cool. Oh, apply. Yeah, so I should have mentioned that earlier. That's kind of the workflow that I use is starting with Actor Mixer, and then tweaking the individual sliders in the morph sliders, and you can blend those with ones that aren't even in your Actor Mixer wheel there. So okay, Seongguk asks, I hope we can have a Headshot 2 webinar for people who are new to CC5. Yeah, thanks for the feedback. If you fill out the feedback form that we sent to you guys, we're more than happy to do a Headshot 2 webinar. There's some really cool Headshot 2 stuff that you can do, making HD heads. We have a tutorial on that that recently came out, I believe, last month. But yeah. Okay, can Guangwen Zhou asks, can Morph animate textures for the mesh as well? Like changing color and normals, etc. Good question. So if you want to, you don't use the Morph animator to animate the textures. If your texture in iClone can be modified, it'll be in the materials tab right here, and you'll see something like skin head. Any parameter here that has green, so like this. For example, the strength, any parameter you see in iClone that's in green text means it can be keyframed, it can be animated. So, let's have him first he's white, and then when he shoots, he's like he turns into a different color. Okay, so there you go. We animated that. He's strong. He gets a stronger chin and stronger, healthier looking skin. Okay, so this is stupid animation, but just wanted to show you the functionality. And of course, like I said, any green parameter here, like self illumination, we can zoop, have it and like illuminate. Okay, that looks kind of silly, but why not? We're just doing silly things anyways. In here, I don't think there's much you can animate in these tabs here. No, these are all non-animatable, unfortunately. You don't see anything green here. These are just these material things you can't animate. Let's just be aware of that. But yeah, you can modify those and the strength of individual maps. You can modify those. So yeah, you can have fun with that. Robert asks for like, okay, so that's clarification from your earlier question, I believe. Okay, Kim Leeming asks, one of your current promotions is that you can get Fashion Gen if you spend a certain amount of money. Can you please tell us about Fashion Gen? Does it offer different types of slider and options? Well, Fashion Gen, let's take a look. Um, I'm not sure why I get YouTube or I get Yahoo search now for my Google Chrome rather. Sorry, I got. Okay, so Fashion Gen right here. Let me take a quick look. I'm not super familiar with it. I saw it being released. I didn't look into it too much though. Okay, pattern. I'm sorry, I'm not Kim. I'm not too familiar with Fashion Gen to be honest. Um, yeah, good question. I'll have to look into this. I know the functionality. I know it was just released just recently, but yeah, you kind of caught me there. Caught me off guard. Fashion Gen. Get it now. Yeah, sorry, Kim. Not too content. There's content packs being released all the time, and I don't necessarily get all the updates. But yeah, maybe it seems like it's a collection of assets that you can kind of put together, and it seems like there's some functionality there. But yeah, sorry about that. You stumped me there. Okay. Next question. Last question from Emmy here. In this age, honest question, in this age of AI and people doing wonderful animations, telling stories, where is Reallusion in this evolution? Why should people stay with Reallusion when people are subscribing to other tools to get their work done? Very good question. And you're in the northwest area of Calgary. I'm actually in Japan right now, but my hometown is Calgary. Would love to chat with you if you want to reach out to me online, kai@reallusion.com for sure. And when I'm in Calgary, you can hang out for sure. But yeah, a good question that I get asked really often these days is, where does Reallusion play into the whole AI evolution? And to be honest, if you've used AI as much as I have, and we've done AI webinars in the past, AI is good for some things. I personally like it for certain things. For helping you write copy, for example, like marketing copy, helping you communicate. Like LLMs are great for translation, for example. I live in Japan, and so it's when you need translation. You just how do you say this in Japanese or something, or how wherever you are in the world, Chat GPT or whatnot can pop up with something. But in terms of art. It's sort of a different animal. And one of the main advantages that traditional art and programs, even I'm talking like anything like Maya, Blender, Unreal Engine, and stuff like that. Yeah, Oleg just mentions exactly what I was thinking. It's not there in terms of the editing scene. So, in terms of iterations, so say you say AI, generate this, please generate this. I want Hulk Hogan body slamming Mother Teresa, for example, which I've actually seen on Instagram. Really weird, but it'll do that. But then you want to say like something. Can you recreate that exact scene? And AI works on kind of like a weird like iteration functionality where it's learning and it's trying to adapt. And yeah, like I mentioned, the same seed, you get different results. So if you want consistent results, like for example, if you're working on a project with a director, um, you're not going to be able to you're not going to be able to tweak little small things. If you say like AI, oh, just, can you do the same thing but put a bracelet on Hulk Hogan or give him a tiara or something like that? You're not gonna have the same results. There's gonna be slight little changes in the second iteration, which is something that, yeah, say the director's like, okay, so that's cool. Now he has the tiara, now he has the bracelet, but why did you change his hair to that way? Or like, why is his hair flowing differently? Or, why is this happening? Um, why is this post on the wrestling ring slightly different? And that's because AI can't reproduce consistent results if you're just wanting to do small little changes, small little iterations. And that's where traditional art still has the main advantage, where you can actually talk to a person and the art, the director will talk to the artist and say, hey, can you just like tweak his arm a little bit? Can you make his muscles a little bit too big at this position? Can you tweak that? Can you make it a little bit like, larger or whatnot? Try doing that with AI. It's going to be impossible. You're not going to get that small little change with the same results that you previously had. Just there's going to be different things. Um, Even if you tell AI to recreate the same image like 2,200 times, it's going to give you different versions each time. So the consistency is not there. And this is one of the main reasons why, traditional artists, I mean, in my opinion, there's a bubble. In my opinion, I'm old enough that I lived through the dot-com bubble of the early 2000s. In my opinion, people are just throwing any money at everything AI right now, and the functionality is not there in terms of art. Um, so I really encourage people to continue learning whatever you're learning, Blender, Unreal, iClone, Maya, whatnot. Um, like ZBrush especially, like because you're not going to be able to make AI is not going to be able to make these small detailed modifications to you have a super close up of a character with like pimples on his skin and scars and stuff like that. Um, Try getting AI to reproduce that, it's not going to work. Just a little, I just want a little scar here. Nope. It's not at that level yet. It can give you like very realistic looking results, but it's not going to be consistent. This is just my 2 cents. Sorry if I went off on a rant there, but to be honest, if you use it, you kind of see the results. And we do have an AI plugin that is in beta right now. And if you go to our forums, you can find out how to join that beta. And you can use iClone to, if you change the pose, and AI will use that pose to create a different image or a different video. And those, if earlier I put the webinar archive link in the chat. I did a few webinars with John Martin and Max Thomas from Georgia State University. This was back in, I think, August or September. If you want to learn about that and how to use iClone in combination with AI, check out those webinars. They're really not too bad. They're pretty good. Some really interesting technology at show there, but my personal opinion, it's not going to replace. And I think there's going to be a certain time where real artists are going to be in super high demand again. So just my 2 cents. But anyways. Um, okay, so it looks like we're no more questions in the Q&A. Looks like we're good to go. So yeah, want to thank everyone for your comments. Thanks so much for being with me today. Hopefully you learned a little bit about ActorMixer, how you can use it to really generate all sorts of unique types of characters. Again, generally you want to have a sort of uh, a concept in mind when you do this to work towards, and you can kind of blend stuff and take it into Blender, take it back, and blend your new stuff. It's just the functionality, the flexibility is there. There's all sorts of pipelines you can use: ZBrush, Blender. You can even use Mesh Editor and Character Creator. So I really encourage you to check it out, at least the free version, and I really believe the pro version is worth it. So yeah, lovely to have you guys here along today. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll say good night, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. I wish everyone a Merry Christmas. Don't feel don't forget to fill out the survey and get that discount from the content store. Again, lovely to have you guys here. So happy holidays, and I will sign off. Take care, guys.